All right, so let's see how this works. I'm going to try to set up the YouTube link as well, because some people don't have Zoom. I know my aunt doesn't for sure.
Hi, PK.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
There we are.
Awesome. I think we're ready. All right, so.
Hey.
There we go.
Wow, look at everyone coming on. Thank you guys so much. I know it's a really nice night here, actually. It's been kind of rainy and crazy, and there's some tornado warnings in our area, but it looks nice out right now. So thanks for joining us. So who do we have on here tonight? I've got 10 people. Thank you. I see PK, you're there. There you are. Look at you with your headset. You're so prepared. I love it. And Karen, and gosh, so many people. So thank you. What I want to do is just open up the call to everybody. If you can, just say who you are and where you're from and why you're so excited for this series of calls. If we could start that way. Who's brave enough?
Can you see me, Tara?
I can. Oh no,
oh, good.
Who's that talking?
It's Liz. Can you see me?
No, I cannot see you.
Oh, well, I'm here at the horse show. There may be a bit of disruption because of the storms rolling through, but I'm here.
I can hear you.
So okay, well, that's good. I
good.
can hear you, so that's quality.
Excellent. So tell us where you are, because I know where you are, but nobody else does.
Oh, well, right now I'm at the Orangeville Fairgrounds, and we're at Summerama, which is our largest and longest show of the season, horse show. And we just had the first set of storm roll through with some pretty crazy wind. And yeah, there was tornado warnings just northeast of us, and Angus and Tecumseh and all kinds of proximities far too close for my comfort, to be honest with you. But we're here, and right now we're dry, and the sun's trying to peek through.
Well, that's great. And what are you excited about for this series, this 5-week series?
Recharge.
Awesome.
Yeah, just, like it's all about, right, getting back to the basics. And I think I made a post the other day how sometimes I just feel like what a writer would feel like, the writer's block. So many other things going on in my world anyway, maybe I'm sure for others as well. And it just gets to the point sometimes where a reset is required, not just for our bodies, but for the mind as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else in the group here that wants to share anything about why they're here and where you are right now?
Hey, Tara.
Hey, Michelle. I see Michelle and then Paige putting their hands up, so thank you guys.
Hey, Paige.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
You can go ahead. I'll go after.
Okay. You sure?
Go ahead, Michelle. You're on.
Sorry. Okay. I'm Michelle, and I'm in Kilworthy, Gravenhurst area. So it's really hot and humid here right now, but really cool here. And it's not raining, so I'm looking at a beautiful lake, but you guys can't see it.
Hey, Michelle.
And I'm excited because I like it when PK kicks me in the butt.
No.
I need a kick in the butt, so I'm ready for it, PK.
Now you make me sound like a mean trainer when you say things like that. Everybody knows that I'll kick anybody in the butt.
You do it in such a nice way.
With love. With love. That's right. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. And Paige, you were jumping out there wherever you are now. I can't see you.
Hey. So I'm from Baden. Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm from Baden, and yeah, I'm just excited to reconnect as a group too, and as a team, and just kind of get back into momentum.
Where's Baden?
What? Sorry?
Where's Baden?
It's just past Kitchener. You were here in Kitchener for an event.
Yeah.
So if you were, what is it?
West.
Yeah.
West towards Stratford?
Yeah, so we're in between Kitchener and Stratford. Yeah, that's exactly.
Sorry, I just never heard of it before. I'm not trying to be rude.
If you blink, you'll miss it.
I'm from a village of 400 people, but at least we have an exit on the 401.
Oh, there you go.
And if it was 10 years ago, I would have lived there down the road from you. Because Cam and I live down the road from that place.
Such a small town, too.
It is. It's so funny. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. And is there anyone else that wants to share with us before we get into the training? Amanda, I saw your little hand go up there.
I'm Amanda. I'm in Ottawa. I'm looking forward to this because I'm ready to get started and ready to start from the beginning and just go.
Can I share your success with everybody?
Yeah.
Amanda hit the 100-pound club, so she will be taking the stage this year at Celebration.
Woo!
So exciting.
Way to go, Amanda.
Awesome.
I was just mentoring someone last night who's also taking the stage with you, and she's from Ohio, and she just joined the 100-pound club last month.
Wow.
Maria, so she'll be on the stage with you.
I can't wait to meet everybody.
Yeah. So exciting. Excellent. Is there anyone else? I don't want to leave anyone else out if you want to speak.
I'm Karen.
Karen.
Hello. I'm from Breaks Grove, Ontario, down by Sarnia. I'm always getting ready to get ready, so I'm ready.
I love it. You're not alone, girl. You're not alone.
I know.
I'm sure every one of us.
Always getting ready to get ready. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Excellent. I see other great people on here, but I don't want to put anyone on the spot. So if there's anything else that anyone wants to share?
I'll jump out. Hey
Thanks,
guys, it's
Tina.
Tina from Barrie.
Hey, Tina.
And thank you, Tara, for this opportunity. This is great. And PK, I've missed you so much. I'm like, I gotta jump on this for sure. So I'm definitely here to spend some time with you, my friend, because it's been a long time. And I just always love working with all the different amazing people we've got, you know, in Isagenix, because we can always learn and grow and continue to, you know, thrive working with each other. So there's a lot of people on here that I haven't worked closely with, and I thought it was a great opportunity just to, you know, change things up a little bit and continue moving forward together as a tribe. So I'm grateful for this opportunity for all of you that are here. So thanks.
Remember that training at the curling? It was a rink of some kind in Toronto a million years ago. Do you remember that, Tina?
Yeah, it was a cricket club, wasn't it?
The cricket club, that's what it was. I knew it was some weird club I'd never heard of before.
Well, and I used to work there, which was a crazy thing, because all of a sudden I heard there was an event there for Isagenix, and I'm like, what?
How many years ago was that? I have no memories of that stuff.
Probably 6.
Probably 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's awesome. All right. So how many of you, just for a show of hands, I know not everyone's on video, how many of you have already been trained in some capacity by the amazing PK Smith? All right, I can see some hands up. And for those of you who have not, you're in for a real treat, I have to say. I was fortunate enough to, with Jack in my arms, for those of you who know who Jack is, he just won the gold medal tonight with his team in lacrosse.
Yay! Go, Jack!
Yeah, he's 8 years old now, but when he was 6 months, that was my first real event in Pam and Kevin Barnum's living room. And that was my first experience with the training that we have in Isagenix, and I was wowed back then. I was just amazed by PK and his vision. And it really came down to, you know, when you have someone that shares their vision so clearly, it is like it has already happened. And everything he told us that day, I was sure it all happened, and we were just hearing it for the second time. And it was his vision that was so clear. And it made me realize at that time how if I was going to really do the best I could in this business, it would be about sharing the vision I have. And I will admit to you guys right now, I have not shared that very well. We're always a work in progress, right? So I know that PK is going to help every single one of us move mountains in our small way, because we all have steps to take along the way. So thanks, PK, for being here with us.
Glad to be here. Will that be 8 years then? This fall it will be 8 years?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was the very first time I ever spoke all day on the co-creation principles. In fact, I made it up for that training. and when I say made it up, it still isn't written down anywhere. I have 8 points written down somewhere, but it's all just in my head. I was in Ohio last weekend, and I didn't know what I was going to train on. And I didn't know until I started training. And we ended up teaching a little bit of the co-creation principles, but we trained on the simple fact that what we're always looking for is people who want to partner with us, who share our vision, our values, and our habits. And the fact is, that's not going to be a huge group of people, because you don't need 100 people partnering with you. And you don't need people that are identical to you. You need people who harmonize with you. And that's often what we misunderstand. We think that we're looking for people that are identical to us. Actually, we don't want people who are identical. We want people who complement us. They harmonize with what we're doing. And when you really understand that Jim Coover's a genius, and he created a compensation plan that doesn't have a top and it doesn't have a bottom, because of that, you can have partnerships throughout your team. They might be your personally enrolled, they might not be your personally enrolled. As long as they're in your team, you're benefiting from that partnership. And often people miss that. And it's because this is such a unique economy. You're probably never going to experience an economy like this again in your life. Mm-hmm. When you see any kind of a contest in Isogenics, we get the wrong thought in our head. We act like we're competing with other members in the contest. Like there's 10 people around the table and there's $1 in the middle. Who gets the $1 first? And we all rush to get the $1 first. And when we don't get the $1 first, we feel like we lost. When in fact, there's $100 in the middle of the table. Take your first one. Who? All of you who reach it, just take your first one. You mean if I take one, doesn't mean that Tara misses out? No, there's no shortage. There's no shortage. We're not competing against each other ever. Why? It's the simple math. And I love that one of my mentees, Bethany Krause from Gilbert, Arizona, she explains it this way. She says, to be honest, 85% of all the people who ever try our product, they just pay for it out of their own pocket. They don't share with anybody else. They're just strictly consumers. About 13%, they find out that they love these products and they want to share with the people they love how much they love these products. And it turns out 13% get their products paid for. And only about 2% are like me, and this is their business. And then she just asks them, so when you think of yourself, do you see yourself as an 85 or a 13 or a 2? Now, because human beings always pick the second one, they all say, well, I can see myself as a 13. If I love these products, of course I'd like to share it with someone that I love. And that just gave you permission to show them how to get their products paid for when they have an amazing product experience. And you've opened that yes-no valve in their mind that they're okay hearing about it just because you gave them that simple decision. Pick which one you are, 85 or a 13 or a 2. Now, I'm on a mission, and you guys are a part of this mission. I find that 85 number unacceptable. My mission is for everyone that I train to live by the 50-50 rule. Everyone that I train, I expect for them to get to the place, if they enroll 2 people, one of them gets paid. We're no longer settling for 15% receiving any money back. We're aiming for 50. Now, what do you think would happen to your business if half the people you ever enrolled received some money back? What would it do? Tell me.
It would skyrocket it.
It would skyrocket it, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Retention would be through the roof.
Ah, the R word, one of my favorite R words, retention, right? We know if someone cycles once a week, the retention level is over 90%. Why? Because your average auto ship is under $200. They're getting it for free. Changes the retention rate. Retention matters, folks. That's why we enroll people with larger packs, higher retention rates, and we get more people paid. Our revenue keeps steady, steady, steady. So really there's two main skills that we want to focus on. We want to help people choose a larger pack because it has a higher retention rate, and we want to get half of the people paid. Could you guys accept that kind of a architectural for your business?
Oh yeah, hands down.
Is that okay to think that way? Higher packs, longer retention, better chance of reaching their health goals. By the way, you all know her, Barb McAllister from Edmonton. I was at a dinner with her at the Red and White event, and she says, you know, PK, since I've been starting at the top and going down like you taught me, most of my packs are value packs or the old President's pack. She said, but I've kept track. And the fact is, if someone starts with a value pack, all three systems, meals, snacks, and mineral and vitamin support, 96% of the time they reach their health goal. 96% of the time. And that's what she's teaching her team. So I'm sitting beside this young lady, and she had just won the Tier 2 award for the Red and White event. And I said, so how did you win the award? She says, well, I'm brand new to Isagenix. I said, oh, cool. I said, well, where does your success come from? And she says, well, Barb explains it's because 70% of my enrollments are value packs. I said, wow, how on earth are you getting people to join with value packs 70% of the time? And she looked at me kind of, you know, when you make a funny noise to a dog and it cocked your head at you like, what's wrong? And she looked at me and said, well, Barb gave me this script that you wrote and told me to read it. I said, that's all you've ever done? She says, I don't explain the packs any other way. I just read the script. And that's how you get 70% from day one. Says, am I doing it wrong? No, you're not doing anything wrong. That's perfect. I've just never met you before. I've never met anyone from day one who just said, I'll just read the script and be stupid. You feel stupid reading the script. I'll be honest with you. You feel stupid. But if we know retention is based on the size of the pack, we've got to stop letting ourselves off the hook on the smaller packs. Now, question for you. What pack does a person have to enroll with in order to duplicate the Skidmore study experiment?
Sorry, I'm walking through the tax stalls here trying to figure out what I have to do next for tonight, and I totally missed the question.
What pack do you have to start with in order to duplicate the Skidmore study experience? I see Michelle Smiley just texted in.
Oh, that would be the 30-day.
The value pack.
Oh, well, yeah.
The value pack. But you know what? Tina just typed in the value pack as well. Now, Tina, where's Tina? I'm going to flip through to see Tina. Tina, hi. Do you know you're wrong?
Is it the ultimate pack?
Actually, well, I guess you could if you got the ultimate pack, yeah. But actually, you need to buy a value pack plus 2 boxes of bars.
Oh.
There isn't enough food in the value pack for what they did in the Skidmore study. That sounds impossible, doesn't it? Now, I see Jason's on here. Jason, do you remember what they let men do just before bed? What were they supposed to eat just before bed?
Yeah, they had a bar before bed.
Yes, more food for men. Yes, yes. Right? Remember when they first told you were going to survive off 1,100 calories a day? And you went, no, I'm not. I'll eat roadkill. That's not going to happen. No, I can't live off 1,100 calories a day. No. Remember that, Jason?
Yeah, I survived like my first 9 day, and like after that, I was like eating like the whole house. So
Yes. Now, as you know, Jason has muscles on his muscles, and then he grew 3 more muscles and put a muscle on it. Just how many calories a day do you think you're chowing down on these days, Jason? Just ballpark it.
Is that a horse?
That was a horse.
That was a horse.
I'm sorry, guys. I actually have to work while I'm here, so I'm in the barn right now doing my stuff while I'm on this call.
You're probably going to want to mute your line, though. Do you know how to do that?
No, I am trying to figure it out, though,
Here,
so
I
bear
think-
with me.
Okay.
Tara, you can mute her.
I just muted her, so if you
Oh, there
want
you
to
go.
talk, you can. Yeah, we'll call you.
Because I thought that was funny because when we said how many calories, there was a horse sound in Jason's background. I went, wow, Jason's eating horses. Now we all hate him. Excellent.
I don't keep track of calories, but like I have minimum 3 Isoline Pro, a bar, 2 meals, and BBB before bed. So
Ah.
yeah, that's
Now,
if not.
Weren't you excited at the red and white when Dr. Paul Asciero, that's I think how we say it. I'm always afraid of turning the ass word into a bad word, so I struggle saying it. When they said that the people eating Isagenix ate 58,000 more calories than the people on the heart healthy diet, that was such a happy day, wasn't it? Remember that, guys. Those of you, especially in the fitness industry, now I'm going to pick on people in the fitness industry. You'll get people when you talk about our superfood program, and you'll get that kind of gum chewing idiot talking back to you. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Just cut your calories and do 3 more sit-ups. Why? Because they think counting calories does it. Our superfood nutritional study proved calories are for dummies. Calories don't mean anything. In fact, we were always taught if you wanted to lose weight, don't eat anything after supper. What are we telling everybody to do before bed? Eat! Eat and go to bed. How is this possibly true? Because counting calories isn't how you solve the problem. It's getting your metabolism jacked up where it wants to go, right? Getting it up there. The rule I have, if you're hungry, you're doing it wrong. If you're hungry and want to go to stop for roadkill, you're doing this wrong. You need to eat some more superfoods. Now think when someone has a poor relationship with food and you tell them, we're not going to ask you to ever count calories and we don't want you to ever feel hungry. We actually want you to put more fuel in the furnace and keep it going. How do you think that's going to make people feel who maybe have had a really challenging relationship with food their whole life? Isn't that good news? I think so. Now, let's get down to some really hard practices that we're all going to start tonight. Okay? Step number 1, you're all going to develop, if you don't already have one, a Not Now book. Now, Tara has one in her office. I see her looking left and right to find it. Tara is reaching up and placing it in front of the camera. This is a Not Now binder. Now, this is because we know people don't enroll the first, second, or third time that people talk to you. They enroll 4 to 6 connections over 4 to 8 months. If you do not have a system that tells you, I have not talked to Bob in 6 weeks, I need to call Bob back, you are living off of 10% of your possible enrollments. Now, I'm not making it up, folks. Too many people in Isagenix think you can keep this in your memory. You can't keep this in your memory. It's not physically possible. For instance, many of you are waiting for 50 or 100 people to get ready to get started. If you're on this call, I want you to decide and commit to being a professional. And if you're a professional, you're going to have 500 people in your Not Now book. You might not have it this week, might not have it this month, but you're going to build a group of 500 people you've connected with, and you're going to do your due diligence with those 500 people and help them reach their health goals. Now, let's be honest. What's scary about the number 500? Remember, I can't read lips. You'll have to unmute with your mouth is moving. Michelle was actually mouthing things as if I could tell. I'm going, I know. I'm doing it on my iPhone. So, Michelle, your head is this big. So your mouth is this big. So I think this. And I'm supposed to read this. What does this mean?
That's a big ass scary number, PK.
That's a big ass scary number. Yes, it is. But you know what? If we want to have a big ass scary number in our cycles, we got to have a big ass scary number in what we invest, right? Now, like I say, you're not going to get there this month. Maybe some of you may already be there. I had one young man I met at Red and White, and he was at my training 2 months later in Ottawa. And he said, you know, PK, I've got 2 binders. I got 500 pages. I said, you do already? He says, yeah, I realized I've talked to a lot of people, but I hadn't called any of them back. Circling back through. Now, what we want to do, and we want to start working on this tonight, is talk about what do we say when we're initially connecting with people. Also, what do we say when we're calling people back? Now, many of you talk way too much before you enroll someone. You feel uncomfortable with the product or with the price or offerings to someone, and you tend to turn an enrolling conversation into a counseling session. Now, are any of you find yourselves guilty of that little behavior? Yeah? I'm flicking through and see any raise their hand. Guilt. I think we're getting some guilty. Tina's saying used to be. Oh, but we've got a conformed one. Excellent. I'm changing now. Excellent. The reason it doesn't work is there is a cathartic release when you let someone describe their problem ad nauseum, but you never produce a solution for them. So they got it off their chest how terrible they feel about their relationship with food, or how terrible they feel about their health and about their future. And because they got it off their chest, they feel like the work is done. And you just took the place of superfood. What's that word for sugar pill? Someone give you a sugar pill. It's not really there. It's a
Placebo.
Placebo effect, yes. You need to realize that your big talking is an emotional placebo to them actually making a decision to invest in their health. Does that make sense to you? Does it make sense that all that talking does that? Yeah? So what we want to do is realize, if I know it's going to take multiple connections, we want to find out what their priority is, briefly share how our product line with the company we partner with will help them, and show them their options. Why? Because we plan on having to talk to them 4 to 6 times over 4 to 8 months. But please do not turn an enrolling conversation into, well, let's talk about what we eat on a cleanse day. No, let's not. Let's discuss acidophilus and its many molecular structures that's in our shakes. No, let's not. Well, let's talk about our founders and how much they were having fun before they... Nobody cares about the founders. What do they want to know? Does this work? What's the answer? Yes. If your answer is 5 minutes long, in order to say yes, it makes it feel like the yes isn't true. You ever had someone try to lie to you, and when they're lying, they're just saying too much? And as they keep saying, you go, this is less believable the more. And then a deer ran across the road, and there was an elf on the deer. And I think we had a unicorn at home, and his name was Bill. And are you just telling me how you bumped into a mailbox? Well, yeah, let the deer and the unicorn out of the story, buddy. You hit a mailbox. Oh, really? You didn't believe the unicorn story? I didn't believe the unicorn story. Let's just admit you hit a mailbox with the car. Okay? You made it go too long. Now, this can sound unbelievable, but a couple of my mentees, both Corey Kinnear and Carlita Totes, they will do a Zoom call with 3 or 4 people on the call at once. And they only do 3 things. Number 1, they relate to each of the people individually and get to know them. Just as Tara did. Tara specifically said, want to say who you are and where you're from and why you're happy to be here. Why? Because it makes people feel connected to the call. And remember, everyone's favorite subject is themselves. That's right. So that's the first thing they do. Now, Corey is really Facebook savvy. So she actually gets the names of her people before the call. She goes on their Facebook page and writes down a couple notes that are about them. So if she knows someone's got a tattoo, she'll scratch her head so she can see their tattoo and go, oh, you got ink too. Where did you get yours done? Why? If we have anything in common with the other person, we're in the same boat, and I believe you more. The most important thing about connecting with someone isn't making yourself exceptional to them, but making you similar to them. If we're similar, then I can trust you. If we're at opposite ends of the spectrum, I don't trust you. So that's the first thing she does. Just makes that connection individually with every 4 or 5 people on the call. And then she simply asks the question. So imagine nutrition and superfoods could transform anything about your health. What would you choose to transform first? And she asked individually. So Tara, if superfoods could transform anything about your health, what would you prioritize? When you started, Tara, what would have been your answer?
I would have wanted more energy, just to feel more
Yes.
alive and awake.
Exactly. And I would give this really long answer of our stuff works so well at that. You're going to be amazed how great you feel 4 or 5 days in. Just put in that high test. You can't believe how great you're going to feel. 3 sentences, shut up. Right? And then she turns to the next person and asks the next person the same question. All she's ever doing is telling them, if it's true. Now, if they say, I want to grow 8 inches and be in the NBA in November. Well, I'm sorry, superfoods won't let you grow 8 inches or make you be a great basketball player. It won't work for you. So we don't lie about anything. But if our superfood program can actually meet their need, simply assure them that it works and that you can help them reach that unmet goal. So she goes down the line and does it with everybody on the call. And then she simply reads the script and asks them how they'd like to start. That's it. Tara's holding up the picture to the camera right now. Imagine nutrition could transform anything about your health. What would you choose to transform first? In fact, if you go to Facebook and in the search bar, just type in Imagine Nutrition Could, you'll see how many times that's posted by students of mine around the world. There's always a card made for it somewhere. But it's a simple question that actually gets them talking about themselves more than you're talking about your program. Now, what is the insecurity of keeping it that simple? Asking what their priority is, assuring them it works, and showing them their options. What's the insecurity we feel in keeping it that simple? Tara, could you do that in the group? Do that.
Yes.
Do you mean do that by post it in the group so we can see it, Tina? Is that what you meant? I don't know if Tina
I
said
will
that.
share that picture in the group for sure. And then you guys
Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. So what's the insecurity of keeping it that simple? Because that does give you kind of the burpy diarrhea farts there, the idea of not, barfing a whole lot of ideas at people. What's the fear of keeping it that simple? No fears? You're all fearless?
You feel you should be telling them more.
Not enough info. Right. You know what? I would love to give more info when they ask instead of giving more info when they haven't asked. That's probably our biggest mistake. We're kind of mentally guessing what they're going to ask, so we answer questions they're not asking. Imagine it. Oh, she was writing it down there. Excellent. It's in the chat line too. Excellent. Now, what I'd like you to do is try shortening what you're saying to people to be more focused on what their need is, and you just assuring that if our superfood program addresses it, that really all you're saying, this could really work for you. Could you see yourself cutting those connecting conversations and descriptive conversations shorter like that? Could we try that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, tell me some of the reasons that people tell you that they're not ready to get started today. Money. Yes, Karen's doing the money thing. Yeah, they say this costs money. And of course, they live in a farm and they're milking and eating the same cow. They're not spending any money on food today at all. Now, the funny thing is in Canada, of all the places in the world, it's so expensive to eat well. And so when we have a $4 meal, you go, what are you eating for $4? Why? We live in Canada. I mean, you can eat crap for $4, but you can't actually eat good food for $4. Like even in the States, you can't do it, right? Kind of get out of your head the idea that we're competing with someone who's constantly in the drive-through eating a value meal at McDonald's, right? Money, check with spouse, supporting network marketing versus grocery stores. Oh, good questions. Oh, I didn't see who said that one. Was that Brianne? No.
Yes.
Who asked that last question? Brianne?
Yeah.
I'm flipping through my sheet. There's Brianne. Hey!
Mm-hmm.
So say those off to me again if you can, Brianne.
So I said money. So as the
Yeah.
cost of things.
Yeah.
And then often I need to check with my husband or my wife. And then some people would rather go to the grocery store. They've got protein supplements on their shelf, and they'd rather go to the grocery store than purchase through a friend that has a home-based business. Possibly.
Do you actually hear that someone would rather buy from a grocery store than support someone's home-based business?
I don't hear it, but I know that some people prefer. I have seen people with products on their shelves that they go to the grocery store, whether they're not getting enough information or I'm not asking enough questions. But I do have, we have a good couple. They're great friends. They buy President's Choice protein, but they're very against network marketing.
That's okay.
I haven't really gone into it. They just,
Yeah, that's okay.
Not their thing. It's been kind of left at that.
I need to ask my doctor. I always love it when I need to ask my doctor about this food. I'm thinking, so when you go to a restaurant, you just text your doctor? I was thinking of having the filet and asparagus. Is that okay? Here, let me take a picture of my filet and asparagus. Check yes if it's okay. Is my doctor on my Instagram account, right? Click, click.
Yeah, I've had that a few times, and it's frustrating, and yet you have no choice but to respect the fact that where they're at right now, right?
Absolutely. Well, also when there is a thought in their head that this is somehow a medical decision of what they're doing, that they're not just changing an eating habit, right? Because people do wonder. Let me flip to where Jason is. Jason. Sorry, I'm flipping on my phone here. Jason, there's Jason. Jason, did you hear that all of our sports-related products have just been cleared by a very large overseeing board?
I heard that it was in the works. I know Dr. Paul, when I was meeting with him, was saying that was going to be something that's coming down the pipe. So
I think by celebration they're going to be able to say done deal.
Yeah, he said like by the fall, but yeah.
Which is important because if people are competing in anything, worrying that hey, our stuff really works, why does it really work? What's in it? So there's that question solved. But other than that, it's food, right? It's just a food decision. I really like. Have any of you seen the little Isagenix whiteboard video? Why whey protein? Do you guys know about the Isagenix whiteboard videos? Yes, no.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. So go to YouTube and in the search line, type in Isagenix whiteboard. Whiteboard. There are 20 animated little videos about the product, and they're cute. And they're short. They're 1.5 to 3 minutes long, and they all answer a different little question about the product. I thought they weren't making them anymore. Then at Christmas, I saw they added 4 more. There used to be 16, now there's 20. So they're still making them. I'm not sure why they're that hard to find. I couldn't tell you how to find them on an Isagenix site, but I do know that there's a file of them on YouTube, and there's someone that keeps adding to the file. And on there, they answer the question, well, why whey protein? Isn't that just for bodybuilders or weightlifters? And it actually talks about why whey protein should be a part of your diet, especially as you age. whey protein is a very necessary change in your diet. And as some of you can see, I have a long white goatee. So obviously I was, 16 more than 3 days ago. So yeah. My big health concern for me is just holding on to muscle mass. As some of you know who've met me, I'm kind of a big guy, but I'm losing muscle mass. And it's in one place, my butt. Eventually, my legs are going to go right into my back like a frog. There's just nothing there anymore. And I can't sit on wooden chairs anymore because I click. I sit down and go, click, click, what's that? That's my butt hitting the wooden chair. Do you have a cushion maybe? Why? I'm turning into a frog. Now, some of you who are sports people, you're going to say, oh, there's this wonderful squat exercise that you can do that will build up your gluteus maximus, right? Keep that crap to yourself, okay? I played basketball for 30 years. I can't bend my knees like that without screaming like a little girl. Stop it, okay? So you can let go of that stuff. I can't do that stuff. So yeah, but that's the purpose for whey protein for me, that maybe some activity, well, it's actually that fantasy from the Skidmore study. One of my favorite numbers from the Skidmore study is 9%. The people on Isagenix gained 9% lean muscle mass, not exercising. Now, as many of you know about me, I've never met anyone named Jim, much less gone to one. So I don't go to the gym. These people sat still and gained lean muscle mass. So I think if I keep eating my Isagenix and put my mental powers behind it, maybe I could put all 9% in my bone. So that's what I'm hoping for. But that's why you want to ask the question, what would you like to change? Because if you came to me and said, are you interested in weight loss? No. Well, why? Why would I care how much I weigh? I'm 52. I've been married for 31 years. I don't think at any time soon Sandy's going to be selling me by the pound. So I don't think it matters how much I weigh. Well, how do you decide whether you need to lose weight? Do my Levi's fit? Yes. Then I'm good. That's the only way I know. I have no idea how much I weigh. I have button-up Levi's, and they fit. In fact, they're a little loose right now, but it's okay. I'll wear a belt. It's because the bum's gone. They're just falling. There's nothing to hold them up. They're just falling down. Again, eating just all the 9% right there in my butt all the time. Yeah. But if you didn't ask me the question, you could say something like, "Hey, do you want to improve your performance at the gym? I don't know anyone named Jim. Don't pitch that to me. Do you want to lose weight? No. Are you interested in healthy aging? I'm only 52. I only look a million years old. Okay, I'm not worried about healthy aging just yet. You'd have to ask me, why do you want superfoods? I want it for my bum. Can I have superfoods for my bum, please? I need a bum emergency. Help, help. I've fallen down a well and I've lost my bum. Lassie, go find Timmy, okay? You have to ask the question. And then you can say, oh, let me send you this great little video on whey protein so important. It's one of the whiteboard videos, right? But if you don't ask the question, you'll go all the way around the mulberry bush. And by the way, on the second round, you're starting to piss me off. Why? Just ask me, I'll tell you. Don't assume. Mary Pike. I love Mary Pike. Mary Pike, I think, is in her 70s. Mary Pike drives a 2016 copper penny Stingray Corvette. And that was to replace her 2012 copper penny Corvette. She only drives Corvettes. She's so cool. She met a lady who was obviously about 60 pounds overweight. And it was that kind of weight that you realized this was recent. Like, this just happened to you. You know when you can kind of tell someone just put it on, it's the wrong size for them? And she asked her the question. And the woman said, you were going to guess weight, weren't you? And Mary says, I don't guess. I want to know what matters to you. She says, well, honestly, I haven't enjoyed a meal in 2 years. She says, what's wrong with your food? She says, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong, but I don't enjoy food anymore. And I used to love food. And I used to weigh 60 pounds less than I do right now. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm at the end of my rope. And Mary said, you know what? Our products have something called active enzymes in them. Why don't we try 30 days of putting some enzymes in there with our shakes. And see if that doesn't help you. You might know your second week with is going to work or not. And don't worry, 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, she didn't just put her on shakes. She signed her up with an ultimate pack because she used the line, you know, if anybody in your family might be nibbling on your superfoods in the pantry, you want that ultimate pack, you're going to run out. So she bought an ultimate pack, bought the biggest pack. Within 2 weeks, she knew she was going to be eating Isagenix for the rest of her life. Why? Within 2 weeks, she was loving food again. And yes, she lost weight. Didn't care. Didn't care about losing weight. Why? That wasn't her problem. That wasn't her problem. The problem was she wasn't enjoying food. She wasn't enjoying a meal anymore. Isagenix gave back her love of food again. Have to ask the question, if it can be done, assure them that it works, 3 sentences or less, and simply show them the product line from the top down. Now, Tara, would you also mind going on our website and grabbing the script? It's in Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the right-hand side of the page. If you can copy that and put it in our group, could you do that for us today?
I do. Yep, and I've got it handy, so I'll do that.
I say it's in Canadian. There's only 2 numbers in it, but it's actually in Canadian. It says 1,200 to 600.
Yes, I will do that. I've got it here, and I can easily upload that quickly.
Perfect, perfect. So that's what we're referring to when we say the script. It's not a theory, guys. We've been teaching this method for 5 years. If you will mention the top pack, people will land in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your top is. If your top is the value pack, then they're buying a premium pack or a 30-day. If the top is the ultimate pack, then they're buying the value pack or the premium. It's completely up to you. It is challenging because we like to do mental credit checks and decide what they can afford and give them one option. I'd like you to please resign from selling packs to people and just show them the 4 options, support them no matter what they say. But don't lie to them and say there's 2 packs, or there's 3 packs, or there's less than 4. Just tell them all 4 packs, just tell them the truth. Have any of you have never used the script before? It would be a brand new idea to use the script? Oh, it's a new idea. Okay, so there are some people this is new to. The other thing that's really hard for people to do is read it. Don't memorize the script. Read the script. Don't look slick. Look a little stupid. Okay? You don't want the other person to say, wow, look what she memorized. You want to say, wow, you're literate. You can read. Good for you. Okay? Makes it easy. Makes the other person realize, hey, when I decide I love these products and I want to share with people I love, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what Tara did and read the script. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's a huge step for people. It's probably the first thing that people kind of give up on because they kind of duplication. Exactly. They want to seem, well, the word's professional. You don't want to seem professional. You don't want to look like you're a professional at this, right?
So short.
It's also super short. Yeah, it takes less than 90 seconds to read it. 90 seconds. So as you see, you can make this interaction very brief, connect, find out what their priority is, assure them that it works, and show them their options. And that way, you're not dancing around the actual decision to get started so many times. Many of you are talking so much, you never get to show them their options because you're afraid of them saying, I'm not ready to get started. We plan on them saying that. We plan on them saying that 4 or 5 times before they start. Yeah, we do read it even if we're belly to belly, Michelle. Absolutely. In fact, it's even better if you're belly to belly. If you're on the phone telling yourself, well, hold on, let me just read to you what your options are. What? Oh, I'm on the phone, so I got to haul up on something else here. I just want to read to you what your options are for packs, right? Remember, how you enroll someone greatly predicts if that person ever enrolls someone. If you look super slick and super professional, and it looks like you studied for years to get to this stage, they're going to wait for years before they share. If you can show it's A plus B equals C, it's very simple to do. Same thing with your connecting. If you're simply asking a question, getting to their point of unmet need and assuring them that it works. If that's all you're doing, they know they can do that with their friends. If you list off all of the things that Isagenix can do for them and turn this into Bill Nye the Science Guy, they are not going to do it because they don't have the information in their head that you have. Some of you need a very serious Isagenix lobotomy. You got way too much stuff in there. It's not of any use anymore. Mm-hmm. Keep it to that early connecting. Remember, the most powerful enrollers in Isagenix are the people who've been doing it their first year. They're full of enthusiasm and stupidity. Like they're super stoked, but they don't have a clue. And people enroll like crazy with them. Why? Because you don't get in the way.
I'm gonna write that down. Isagenix lobotomy. That's pretty cool.
It's absolutely necessary. It's necessary. But that's why we want to hold ourselves to talking to them about them, asking the question, and just assuring them, if it's possible, that our product line actually meets it. Now, the reason we're giving you a shorter version for this is we're going to want you to get into lots of action and lots of connecting over the next 5 weeks. None of this works if you're not talking to people, okay? Paige, who's that handsome thing making faces at me there? Hey, Paige. No, Paige can't hear. Hi. Who's on your lap, Paige?
Wait, so I say hi?
You want to say hi?
Say hi, PK. Whoa.
No. Did I scare her? I'm sorry. Hi, Emma.
You weren't shy 2 seconds ago.
I went to school with a little girl named Emma.
Oh.
Emma Landers.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Emma.
Was she a fireball?
No, she wasn't. She was very quiet and demure.
Oh, wow.
She was. Just like I made Emma when I paid attention to her.
Oh.
Big, scary Santa beard. Sorry. Sorry. I kids. I love kids. Sorry. Can't apologize for that. I just love kids. Now, we're wanting you to try something this week. And I know most of you won't do it, to be honest. But I'm going to ask you to try what we call the social media boomerang. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to pick the next 20 people you're going to enroll. I know that sounds crazy. You're going to think, well, how on earth do I know who's going to enroll? Okay? You do know. You can decide who you're going to enroll next. We're going to prove it to you. Now, what we want you to do is either tonight or tomorrow, write down 15 of their names in red on a whiteboard where you do your work, and 5 of them in green. The 5 of them in green are in the batter's box. They're the first people we're going to aim at to enroll. The 15 are in that batter circle over there, swinging a bat with a weight on it, getting ready. Okay? We're going to specifically reach out to those 5 people this week. Now, notice I said 5. It doesn't work better if you turn this number into 15. Don't cheat. 5. Starting tonight or tomorrow, I want you to like or comment on something that every one of those 5 people say or post on Facebook. Every day, like or comment on something that they post on Facebook. 2 or 3 days from now, I want you to reach out to these 5 people to see if you can't start to have a connecting or enrolling conversation with them. Now, when you do that, many of them are going to say, I've been thinking about you. Now, the reason is your like or comment creates a boomerang effect. When you post on your Facebook, you're higher up their news feed because of your like or your comment. Now, this only works if you yourself are using social media to your benefit. Share about the life you love, the products that have changed your life, and the opportunity that's changing your future. Every week, you should look back at the previous week and ask yourself, if I were to use just my social media deliberate posts as the evidence, could you convict me of my own convictions? And most people, the answer is no. You're either very sporadic or very anonymous. You repost other people's things, but I don't actually know it's you. I don't know anything about you. You're hiding. Now, if you'll switch that and start being honest about the life you love, the products that have changed your life, and the opportunity that's changing your future, as you post that, people will begin to be interested in what you have to share. Now, I did this down in New Jersey, and I saw a woman, I think 3 weeks later, she said, you know what? I enrolled 3 of those first 5 people. I said, excellent. It really worked. I said, excellent. Says, and then I screwed it up. How did you screw it up? Says, I didn't believe you that 5 was a good number. I went to 15. Said, oh, what happened when you went to 15? I got overwhelmed and I quit. There was a reason I said 5. Just 5. Karen's saying, can you say those 3 things again? The life that you love, the products that have changed your life, and the opportunity that's changing your future. All 3 of those things. I should know something about your life by looking at your newsfeed, right? And about the life that you love.
Around you?
If you go to, if you go to my videos, you aren't surprised that I live on a farm, because my jackasses and horses are in everything. Why? Because for some reason people like to look at jackasses. I don't know. But I know if I put a horse or a donkey in the video, more of you watch it. So what do? I go outside and do videos. Now, the reality is, most people fantasize about living out in the country and having a few acres, having a garden. And I mean, it's a kind of a fantasy life. Until, of course, you're shoveling manure, and then it's not a fantasy life. But I don't do any of those things, so I don't care. I just have the good part of it.
So I'll wait to off this call. How's that?
Yeah. So you want to be sure that you're sharing your life with people, because they need to be attracted to you first, and then your solution. The biggest mistake I see of people, they think that they're going to attract people to Isagenix. Isagenix doesn't have an attraction factor to it, guys. Only you do. And the only way that you're going to find people who harmonize with your vision, values, and habits is if you expose your vision, values, and habits. If you follow me on Facebook, I post about our work in Africa. We had a huge answer to prayer this week on our work in Africa, something we've been praying for over a decade. We got a single donor who just covered our budget from one donor. And it allows us, every time we fundraise, to be fundraising just for projects. We don't have to worry about payrolls. One person who I don't know, they're not from Isagenix. I've never met the person. It's a connection of one of our staff, and she's been thinking about asking him for a while, and he just came forward and said, I'm paying for John and Joan's trip. They just came back from Malawi. I'm paying for it all. And then I'm going to give enough every month to meet your payroll in Malawi completely. When you raise money, it's for schools, it's for wells, it's for projects. I'm going to run it. And we've been looking for that person for over 10 years. So what does it mean? Persistence. Persistent sharing your vision, values, and habits. At the same time, I was in Ohio and we raised $3,000 American in one day at a training. Fantastic. $3,000 American is 10 wells fixed. Well, 10 wells is thousands of people with safe drinking water just from a 5-hour training I did, and turned on a whole bunch of new people that I've never met before to what we're doing. Why? Visions, values, and habits. Now, not everybody likes partnering with people who work in the third world. That's cool. Don't be attracted to me. But I'm not going to become beige so that my purple doesn't offend you. I'm going to be purple so the purple lovers come forward and say, hey, I love purple. I'll join you. I'll harmonize with your purple. So look at what you're sharing and ask yourself, am I trying to blend in or stick out? You don't want to blend in. You want to have a different message that is true to your own moral compass. What you're passionate about will attract like-minded people to you. Don't turn down your passion. I'm a person of faith. I'm an old married fart devoted to my wife. I've been with her since I was 17 years old. I live my life to co-create wealth in the first world, to erase the pain of the third world. The only reason we started a business was so that someone gave to Impact Malawi, it would go straight to Africa. We have no administrative costs. One of the only missions in the world with no administrative costs. Does that make me a very odd bird? Yeah, it makes me a very odd bird. I make different lifestyle choices because of my vision. And I'll attract people who are into that. I'm not interested in driving a Mercedes. I'm not interested in having a mansion. I live in a 150-year-old farmhouse and I drive a motorcycle most of the time. Why? Because that's how I roll. Happiest day of my life is a 2-hour toot on my Goldwing. Happy days. Why? That's my color. I'm purple. This week, I want you to find your purple. Find out what you're passionate about that you've been hiding because you've been trying to blend in and be beige. When you do that, you're going to find people that want to join your tribe and harmonize with you because really you've pulled back the curtain and started to be you. So, Not Now book, whiteboard with 15 red, 5 green, and start making likes and comments on the 5 greeners and see if we can make some great new connections with those 5 greeners. Let's see if we can enroll everyone on this call, enroll one of your 5 greeners this week. Wouldn't that be good?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for spending an hour with me, folks. It's always a pleasure and a privilege.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
You.
Blessings, guys.
Have a
Back
great
at
week,
you.
guys. Happy Canada Day,
Thank
too.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Thank you, Tara.
Good
Bye,
night, Sharon.
everybody.
Thank you.